Everything about becoming a high-value man is wrong. You know what I mean? All those videos about lifting weight, being stoic, getting a harem of women, starting a dropshipping company, Bugatti, Bugatti, Bugatti. They miss out a crucial point. Strong mental health leads you to high value status. We forget that if you have low self-esteem, self-confidence, or self-belief, then all those outward signs of status are built on a foundation of sand. What I'm concerned about as a doctor is the idea that mental health is secondary. So today we're going to sort through the BS in the most common talking points to understand why it's not a case of do this and become high value, but a case of how following these specific actions for your mental health puts you on a path to becoming high value. Let's go. It's fair to say that being a man is lonely. It is true that the plight of women is never escaping the interest of men, especially creepy men. And it's true that the plight of men is never being a romantic interest. Studies into dating apps show that most men go unswiped, whereas a few men, something like the top 5%, get most of the interest from most of the women. I know that's a hypersimplification, but that's the crux of the dynamics of human peer bonding. It's understandable why being the object of desire amongst women is an outward sign of being a high status man. You are literally the one they pick. But you're kidding yourself if you think notches on your bedposts don't affect your mental health. Think of those men who fill their yachts with Instagram models. Maybe living a lifestyle envisioned by a 14-year-old really is bringing them happiness. More likely, it's as leaving them unfulfilled as porn. In fact, porn and casual sex have been shown to have a detriment to your love life and sexual performance. The consequence of a philandering lifestyle celebrated has been shown to negatively impact men's mental health. No high-value man is going to be motivated by cheap thrills and novelties. Erectile dysfunction is common amongst young men, and older men do talk about an inability to connect with their partners. Maybe porn has fried their brains. Maybe they're terrified of intimacy. The evidence is a little inconclusive about porn and erectile dysfunction, but the evidence does show that it can reduce sexual satisfaction in relationships. Imagine only being able to have intercourse with your girlfriend by thinking of the porn you've watched. Imagine being unable to commit to a relationship because you only derive pleasure from the thrill of a new person. If you are struggling with this, go and see your doctor. There are solutions. Okay, maybe that's a bit preachy, but you get my point. Succumbing easily to hedonistic temptation or mortgaging your intimacy will negatively impact your health, which in turn will cloud your judgment, miscalibrate your emotions, and sap your focus. And you'll need a clear mind to attract clear-minded people. You are the average of the people in the room. Hang out with smokers, become a smoker. Hang out with drinkers, become a drinker. Dunbar's number is a mathematical equation which shows that the number of connections a person can maintain is roughly 120. 120 is, it turns out, the average friend list of the average Facebook user, or at least it was before people started collecting profiles like Pokemon cards. Any high-value man needs to be secure in the network he's built around himself for the success of his business, the safety of his family, and the preservation of his health. But there's a dark side to this process that the alpha male content creators overlook. People are not mere numbers on a spreadsheet. Cutting ties with someone leaves a devastating impact. Maybe you know what it's like to be dumb or to break up with someone. Okay, I'm not saying there's never a reason to cut someone loose. Bad employees need to be fired. But treating other people as mere side characters in your life, as if you're the main character, won't make you a competent leader. It'll just make you cold, arrogant, and self-serving. And it can take you to dark places. Let's not forget how men are facing an epidemic of suicide. I just mean to say that Homo sapiens are social creatures. Isolating yourself from people has been scientifically proven to greatly impact your mental health. Look, you can't save everyone. You don't even have a moral obligation to save anyone, but it's lonely at the top. Okay, this is interesting. Research on deathbed regrets showed people valued the relationships they had more than anything else. Empathy isn't a toxic trait, at least in moderation. So treat your network like you would any other tool to become a high-value man. Alongside being a doctor, I also DJ. And the truth is, my network is the most valuable part of my DJ career. Without the strong relationships in such a saturated industry, where frankly everyone appears to be a DJ, I'd have no success. Focus on maintaining old relationships, be open to new relationships, and for goodness sake, remember you are dealing with real people who have their own ambitions, insecurities, and talents. And the easiest way to understand the power of transformation is to take your physical health seriously. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. We all know it. Having a good body gets the girls, blah, blah, blah. But that's a double-edged sword, right? Because worrying if you've got the right body is just going to drive up your insecurities and tank your confidence. There's no point turning your life around by getting a stable exercise routine if those pecs and biceps are just masking depression. It's true that working out does make us feel better because stuff like dopamine gets released, a healthy diet improves our sharpness, but also having a schedule to orientate your week around does wonders for lifting up other parts of your life. You become more aware of how you use your time. You become more able to tolerate stress. You're even able to track tangible progress in real life and push yourself to pursue your goals. But the moment you start comparing yourself to others is the moment it's all for nothing, especially if you're only doing it to fast track your romantic life. So don't adopt a healthy lifestyle for other people, do it for yourself. After all, a high value man derives his confidence and decision making from an accurate and honest understanding of his own abilities. High value men don't obsess over whether or not someone else will be impressed with them. Drop that high school popularity contest mentality. Yes, you want to challenge yourself in the gym to help you improve and maintain your fitness, but this isn't the final workout before the Mr. Olympia competition. By centering yourself in your progress, you'll come to understand yourself more deeply. You'll be humbled by your hard work, accepting of your shortcomings, and you'll be stronger mentally. And this will help you make better decisions in life, and especially with money. There is a huge difference between being financially stable and rich. Notice, neither of these mean always having enough money. Even rich people think they don't have enough. But so often in the manosphere space, we hear how your worth as a man is your net worth. I'm sure you understand the logic behind it. Having money makes it easier to do things like start projects, look after your family, and even treat yourself. But there's a few pitfalls that can make things worse for you. The first is debt. A wise man once said, more money, more problems. Most wealthy people lose their money for whatever reason. If you're getting down about your bank account, now imagine the mental toll if you ever lose your mansion, write off your Lamborghini, or witness your Fortune 500 company go bust. It could be worse though. You could become insanely rich, never have to worry about anything, derive no pleasure from material possession or luxury experiences, spend money frivolously, and question whether the people in the life are with you for you or for your wealth. Okay, that's a downer, but you get my point. Thankfully, science does tell us that there is a certain amount you need to earn to max out the mental well-being that comes from increasing your net worth. And that's the moment you can pay your bills. Meaning, the moment you start the next month with next month's outgoings already covered, you are as happy as money can make you. This doesn't mean you should forget about expanding your business or growing your nest egg, but you should remember that, and stop me if this is cliche, money can't buy you happiness. Once you've got a grand's worth of emergency funds set aside and you've got 3 to 6 months of rent money ahead of time, you'll feel as financially secure as you'll be when you've got a few million tucked away. Speaking of being confident in your standing, you also need to be confident in your presentation. The rich dress rich, but the filthy rich dress dirt poor. I've even heard it said that the great thing about growing old is that you stop caring about what you look like. Now, I don't want that to be taken to mean that being a slob is acceptable. And I'm not here to bemoan how unfair it is that we judge people on their appearance. We all know damn well why clothes are important. They are codes for authority, competency, legitimacy, which is exactly how fashion can direct or misdirect your focus. Critics in the comments will be saying how high value men need to dress high value, as if that's the same thing as always wearing Gucci suits and Rolex watches. But you'll be surprised how much you can raise your social status with the simplest of tricks. Ironing your shirt, wearing the correct size, correct color coding. Maybe I'm teaching you to suck eggs. But these things have been shown to increase the perception of your fashion sense and in turn increase your mental well-being. Not because it makes other people turn their heads, or at least not entirely because it makes people turn their heads, but because you are now competent at something. By tidying up your wardrobe, you will be developing a skill that is vital of social interaction. You'll feel more confident in that job interview or on that date if you actually know why you're looking good. Forget all that fake it until you make it thing. Any idiot can hop on the latest trend and splash cash on an expensive brand, but a high value man knows how you look good regardless of the wardrobe he's given. That's because the high value man knows what he wants in life, which is why he knows how to dress in such a way to reflect that. So even if you're in a flow state making your music or whatever, dress well. Even if you're not seeing anyone that day. In fact, especially if you're not seeing anyone that day, you want enough pride in how you look so that you are orientating yourself to what you want in life. But you also need humility so that you're not overly self-conscious or insecure about your progress. So focus on your own journey to high status and don't worry about whether or not you fulfill society's expectation. Those outward signs will come, but it will be for nothing if you're on pain on the inside. By following these strategies, you become a high value man. If you want to take yourself from being in the top 1% to the top 0.1%, I've made this video for you here on screen. I go into real details that have changed my life and will change yours. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.